Chapter 6: The many practical applications of radionic devices. When a person approaches radionics for the first time, usually he does on the recommendation of a colleague or friend who uses a device of this kind with brilliant results. Many are approaching this science motivated by health problems or to correct disorders for which they cannot find a solution in medicine or the various existing therapies. Others do it out of curiosity. However, radionic application in everyday life, in business, in personal development, at work or in relationships are as varied and positive that is worth commenting on and take them into consideration. This application can literally change a person's life for the better. Given the surprising uses of these devices, we point out that the purpose of this manual is not to disclose fallacies or feed the minds of gullible people. Anyone can experience on their own the truth of what is stated here without risk to your pocket. Although not all do, many serious marketers of these devices offer money-back guarantees, which gives an opportunity for the customer to see if the radionic machines can be used successfully. In this way, the person who starts to move in the world of infinite possibilities can check the benefits of the device without fear of losing money. The uses with plants. In this book, it is said that in the United States several companies were working with farmers to improve land and crops using radionics. Importantly, these companies came to do the treatments in advance and did not charge until the positive results were showing. The success was so resounding that the fertilizers and insecticides companies formed a common front in order to accuse the radionics entrepreneurs of fraud for using devices that were not supported by the scientific community. However, although as mentioned, the works weren't charged until farmers checked the real and beneficial effects of their crops and land. Besides, the radionics entrepreneurs received anonymous threats of all types, forcing them to abandon their work. We emphasize this fact to warn anyone who can think of using the radionics to improve the fields of crops of others. However, if you have your own farm, you may find experimentation on your own crops amazing and profitable, and you should surely consider giving an opportunity to radionics. Let's go to more home applications. Say you have a plant in your home and perform an analysis with a radionic device to discover that the plant needs more selenium and nitrogen, and because of this the plant is attracting pests. You can choose to use a program installed on your radionic device. In SE5-1000 device you have some software using a sample of the plant, or as a second option to program or transmit some water with IDFs, intrinsic data fields, that deal with selenium and nitrogen. If you choose this second option, then you can water the plant over a period of several weeks with the programmed water to obtain the healing of it and getting rid of the bugs. This way, you will have your radionics device unoccupied to be able to carry out other work. How many different IDFs can get into the water? Usually, water to which a mineral solution has been added can store many different IDFs, minerals, compounds, and waveforms of various origins, than normal water. To find the answer, put the water you will be using on your device in a glass and mentally ask, how many different IDFs can be stored in the water? Then slide your finger over the adherence plate of the device and go moving to potentiometer from 0 up until you get a number. When reached, you will notice as your fingers stick to the plate. That will be the number of different IDFs you can store in the type of water analyzed. Will the device kill the bugs? Radionics devices are not intended to harm or kill living things. In this example, what is achieved is rebalancing the plant, and as a result, the insects will leave or disappear. Sometimes they die because the plant no longer has the conditions for the pest to develop. The radionic device optimizes the conditions for healing to take place. However, if you have doubt about the type of compounds that should be used, or IDFs of these compounds, and don't want to spend time finding out directly with the device, you can consult a specialist in plants and then verify using the radionic device if what the specialist says is what your plant needs. Then you can proceed to apply the optimal treatment. Some people have used successfully quartz crystal to radiate the IDFs needed for the plant and then bury the crystals around and plant with equally positive results. As mentioned, it's possible to load any natural quartz crystal with different IDFs employing a radionic device. Yeah, we can load the quartz with ideas and intentions and carry these crystals maybe as ornaments near the body or in contact with it, so that the quartzes unload the IDFs in the person carrying the crystal. Diamonds are perfect for this. A ring loaded with a certain thought or intention can be ideal for a loved one. We can do the same with us to improve or enhance aspects of our personality. Load some jewelry for your own use with the IDFs you want to or need to acquire. Maybe with the IDFs for good luck or with IDFs related to personal development. You can also do the same with IDFs relating to protection and security against dangerous people or circumstances. Experience and observe the results. Radionics and animals. As you can work with plants, it is also possible to use radionics therapy for animals. There are IDFs lists with specific solutions for the animal treatment. You can set vibration diagnostics and treatments at a distance. Also, emit IDFs on homeopathy and remedies of all kinds. There are many veterinary professionals that successfully use radionics devices in their offices. Gems and jewelry. Extending what has been said about loading IDFs in natural crystals, stones, and noble metals, it is important first to make the cleaning of prior influences and energies before introducing new vibrational patterns. Often, a particular stone or quartz looks opaque and is not because it is dirty, but because of the possible negativity that has been collected over time. With the process of radionics cleaning, it is possible to change the appearance and brightness of a brilliant or quartz in minutes. Some devices that work well for this, and we'll talk about that in the corresponding section, are the radionic device SC5-1000 and AREX devices. Once you have a clean stone or quartz empty of interference and negative energies, then you can load the positive programs or information IDFs you deem appropriate, or introduce the vibrational loading of specific messages designed by you. Perhaps messages of appreciation and sincere love for the recipient of a ring or pendant. Maybe it could be a ring with a stone which is loaded with messages for improving an aspect of personality which needs attention. A well-known therapist discovered that one of his relatives needed a vibrational remedy to solve a chronic health problem that had dragged on for years and nobody could solve it. It was a muscular pain that had no apparent physical origin. Since the patient was reluctant to use unusual remedies and homeopathic solutions, the therapist thought that he could incorporate the vibrational remedy in an ornament that had a natural quartz stone as the main element. After loading the pendant with the accurate vibration with his radionic device, he gave the object to his relative, who began to recover from this condition until the pain completely disappeared and didn't reappear again. Interestingly, the placebo effect was not present, because the person with the problem didn't know he received a special gift loaded with the vibration of a remedy. Replicating something from a radionic point of view means to insert the CDIs, intrinsic data fields, of one substance in another, so that the vibrational information of the original substance passes to the second. In this way, the same effects can usually be achieved, and very similar on other occasions, when the object, liquid, or food that has received the information is used. Does that mean that if you replicate a vitamin pill in the water will show the vitamins incorporated in chemical analysis? No. However, usually you will feel that water changes its flavor. The vibration of the vitamins present in the pill will pass into the water. As a result, the vibratory effect of ingesting this enhanced water will be very similar to physically taking the vitamin pill. It's been experimented transferring IDFs of high-quality wine to more ordinary wine. Comparisons were made before and after measuring the infrared and ultraviolet spectra of lower quality wine. When the IDFs of high quality wine was applied, the spectra of ordinary wine changed with a very similar resemblance to high quality. When the experts tested the resulting product, they tasted a flavor of grown and exquisite wine. There are wineries employing radionic devices to improve all aspects of their wines without resorting to more costly methods, with amazing results. Moreover, you can work on plants and improve virtually almost any product from treated plants at very low cost and with very high yields. Choosing an occupation, studies, business, or place to live. Radionic devices can connect us with the deepest essence of our mind. Our unconsciousness usually shows that we really need or seek regardless of external factors that sometimes confuse and limit the development of what is truly good for us. You can also connect with the vibrational essence of another person and get information on what may be more suitable according to the personal essence, being able to quantify visually what is best according to that. Obviously, there may be several appropriate options, and ultimately it will be a personal decision based on various factors which will be imposed, but knowing what is closer to our soul could make a difference and help us choose the right path. When placing a sample of the person, we can, through the potentiometers and the adherence plates or detector plate, ask which is the better option concerning the most appropriate studies, the most compatible occupation, the business that we must choose, or the most appropriate place to live. We can numerically establish the most suitable option in each case and act accordingly, especially when there is a great hesitancy on a certain issue. It is very interesting that when you ask for an option on an individual level and by considering two people as a whole, this tends to vary. For example, if we are deciding the most appropriate place to establish our residence to live alone, the response may be different than if we ask for the right place to live with our partner. In the latter case, we have to place samples of the two people in the radionic device in order to have the right answers. Returning to the theory of everything and considering that we are part of a global matrix, the indications obtained using a radionic device can show us whether our personal vibrations and the vibrations of our possible objectives benefit us or harm us, if our objectives are adjusted to what really suits us. Sometimes it is possible to detect aspects and interferences that can harm us and are yet unknown for us, or are simply less compatible or even antagonistic to what we need or we want to achieve. A couple was looking for a suitable place to live. They had three options and found that one, which appeared to be practically attractive, had a much lower score than the other two when they measured the three options with their radionic device. This made them doubt, but they didn't want to make a decision only with their radionic measurements, without a logical consideration. That's the best way to do things using both methods. So, they went to the apartment building where the best option for them was. They asked neighbors and found that precisely the apartment they liked had a major problem. Tenants above the apartment had been known for repeatedly making noise. Obviously, they definitely ruled out this location. An invaluable help to make better decisions. When we use the radionics to make decisions, it is reasonable not to discard options simply because they didn't appear as the most suitable according to the radionics measurements. However, it would be wise to investigate more carefully on the impact and implications of what these less desirable options, according to the radionic measurements, can bring us. Most of the time, we find important details that we had overlooked and which may be decisive in our choice. People who have spent years using radionics usually have so many positive experiences that usually discard almost everything that does not have adequate radionic measurement. However, the balanced experimenter uses both reason and subtle perception for making better and right choices. Finding objects, animals, and missing persons. Practitioners of very skilled and experienced dowsing are hired by various institutions and even by police to locate certain enclaves and find missing or kidnapped people. These people use pendulums, maps, and samples to find where people are. Most of the time, they find what they seek without any more help than the pendulum and their personal ability. The problem here is to replicate the ability of these people with this particular sensitive ability developed by many years of practice. Not so with the radionics. Once you have a radionic device, it is very easy to get used to using the stick plate, also called adherence plate or detector plate, and make measurements of all types. Remember that for measurements, fingers are passed over the adherence plates of the device. When you get no signal, the fingers do not stick to the plate. You can also use the device connecting a pointer and passing this pointer over a map that is being analyzed from the top down while fingers slide over the detector plate until a signal is achieved. When you get a stick, draw a mark on the point on the map you were pointing to. After that, the map is rotated 90 degrees and passes back to the pointer up and down until a new signal by adherence is perceived. Both points are joined with two lines forming a right angle. Where the lines intersect, the map points to the object, animal or person missed. When we search for missing persons or animals, it is appropriate to ask whether they are alive or not. From a search point of view, it will be necessary to consider whether what you're looking for has the possibility of moving after the measurement has been carried out. An interesting case is mentioned in a handbook about the radionic device SE5-1000. It was related to the search of a Picasso's painting that has been missing for years. Some scholars thought that perhaps it was part of a private collection, but they had no record of that. The search started by a practitioner using radionic devices. He asked for a photo of the missing painting and began to investigate a list of 100 galleries and museums that could own or know the location of the artwork. Sometimes museums have important pieces that are lost in rooms, cabinets, and cellars for multiple reasons. The radionic practitioner pointed to a practical gallery through his machine. He called its office, but he was told that they did not know where the painting was. But they provided a phone number of another specialized gallery. He phoned there. When they answered the phone, they said they had no idea where or who might have it. A gallery visitor heard the conversation and interrupted the person answering the phone to tell him that he knew who had the painting in their collection. After reading this story, you might think that everything was pure chance, but again, we say the same thing. An isolated fact or experience may perhaps be considered a chance, but when we witness many of these chances, maybe we begin to think that so many coincidences cannot be coincidental. Finally, it is possible to reach the conclusion that the hypothesis of matrix and interconnectedness of all existences, beings, thoughts, and things can be more real than it seems. Radionics help to connect all, using device and the operator's mind. Eliminate negativity and harmful energy from houses and buildings. In Switzerland, there is a hotel which has served as a prison for decades. This building was originally erected by using materials from other old prisons, so the materials were used twice for building prisons. The hotel keeps the rooms with the cell structure and doors are the same that were used for the prisoners. So for more than 2 centuries, both the land and the building materials, and even the building itself, served to enforce penalties on people who suffered a lot and surely had large negative emotional burdens. Those who have slept in this converted hotel mentioned the oppression they felt when they walked through the building and the difficulties falling asleep. It is a proven fact that sensitive people will often notice the negativity of places where murders have been committed or people have been abused. It is as if the walls remain infused by the painful feelings of those who have been there. What many feel as negativity are simply vibrations or IDFs that have not been eliminated by other positive vibrations. Radionics devices can be used to emit balanced and positive intrinsic data fields to replace those that trigger bad feelings in people. For this, a photograph is taken of the building, house, or room to be treated. Then we place in the radionic device phrases like remove negative emotions, dissolve the fear, depression, and unpleasant mental conditions, remove the injury, anxiety, and anger, dissolve negativity, the pessimism, the claustrophobia, eliminate any negative entity of any kind, the psychic forces of darkness and negative or harmful entities. Then the vibrations corresponding to these sentences applied to pictures as structural links. After that, the device is programmed to emit vibrations corresponding to positive statements, storing positive emotions, attract confidence, well-being and pleasant mental conditions, expand recognition, serenity and compassion, attract positivity, fullness and optimism, attract goodness, positive energy and light. You can use these phrases or similar ones. After the treatment, you can see the changes. The brightness is evident, as well as feelings of safety and welfare. Sometimes it is required to perform various actions. You can ask the question of how many will be needed to achieve the complete cleaning. As a very dirty house physically requires several cleaning stages, the highly charged environments with negative vibrations may require several operations of energy sanitation. How to eliminate the chemical odors in new articles, replicating natural odors and add them to an object. Some people have reactions to new odors in products such as carpets or sofas from the chemicals present in the material, even if they are of natural origin. You can use the radionic device to enter a message and then emit it to a sample of the chosen object, or by using a photograph of it. For example, delete all natural or chemical odors present. Usually, the smell that is bothering you will disappear. Some people have made the opposite operation with striking results. For example, replicate IDFs of a wool carpet on a synthetic carpet. Apparently, the synthetic carpet smells like wool and even acquires a certain texture of natural carpet. Many people are amazed at this similarity. I must say that synthetic do not retain the IDFs forever. The effect usually disappears within 1 or 2 years, but in this case it is a matter of redoing the process to achieve similar results. Measuring compatibility between IDFs, intrinsic data fields. Intrinsic data fields, IDFs, can be measured in relation to others to ensure compatibility between them. Thus, we can see the possibilities that a person or company can run 2 different businesses at the same time, the degree of compatibility of 2 people for relationships, work, sport, etc., the compatibility between the CDIs of 2 or more substances, etc., etc. Numeric parameters indicating degree of support are set depending on the radionic device. Interestingly, this system is used as additional information by psychologists, consultants, investors, and marriage counselors. These operators comment on the correctness of these readings and applications found in working with them, helping them solve different situations in less time and with greater success. Some possible applications. Analyze the IDFs of dietary supplement with the IDFs of a particular person, same in IDFs of a food with a person's IDFs. Selection of drugs and natural remedies with respect to people and animals. Selection of plant nutrients. Compatibility of colors for location. Incidence of IDFs colors on a person. Selection of cosmetic products. Choice of jewelry and accessories. Compatibility of various occupations and work with a specific person, selection of product for a company, selection of people to work together in a company, picking people for sport teams, selection of investments, etc., etc. In relation to issues of personal well-being, we point out the device, like the SE5-1000, see related chapter, have integrated programs with vibrational information related to IDFs of pain and its treatment, parasites, premenstrual syndrome, polarity, depression, drug and problems associated with their use, balancing sexual energy, fatigue and vitality, skin problems, migraines, anti-smoking treatment, alcoholism, candida, toxins in the water, dental problems, electromagnetic loads, stress, food intolerances, longevity, balancing of main organs. In this field, as in others, the user's creativity will determine the uses that can be performed using measurements. It should also be recalled that measures always have to do with vibrational energies and subtle aspects. We are not talking about physical parameters. We must remember this when using the information in relation to food or medicine. The opinion of medical professionals always prevails legally in this sense.